Hi everyone, welcome back to this podcast. This is Yarn Over Matter. My name is Amy. I'm coming to you from Montreal, Canada. It's a beautiful snowy day out. Thank you for anybody who is a return viewer. I've only had a few episodes out so far, so if you're back, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And if you're new, welcome. Happy to have you here. I'm so excited for this episode. This is my episode about planning for this year. I didn't really want to call it a Make 9 necessarily. I have 10 things that I want to talk about today. And so I've been feeling so inspired this year, or like right now, this time of year, about with all the different patterns and all the different colors, and also my own yarn collection. Can't find the other word. Pantry, stash, whatever. And so I thought that I would do a video where I'm talking to you guys about what are some of the things that I'm planning to do with my stash yarn, hopefully this year, because I'm feeling really inspired by it. When I purchase yarn, typically it's with a project in mind, so that makes it kind of easier to have a specific plan. I am somebody who does like to plan a lot, and so yeah, I'm really excited to kind of put this up together for you guys, and also for me to kind of have some accountability, because yeah, I'm really excited with all of the yarn that I have. I want to see them knit up. And so yeah, before we get started, usually we talk about what we're wearing. I did not knit this one, but I think it's super fun. I got this when I was in Peru in 2024. I went to an alpaca llama reserve. There are other animals there as well. I can't remember. There's two other types in the same family. We got to do a tour. It was really fun. And then there's a shop at the end with bunch of clothing and knit items. And when I saw this, I couldn't resist. I had to have it. And I love it. It's so warm. It's light. The gauge is really small. It's definitely machine knit, but anyways, I thought it was fun. It would be something fun to show you guys and to wear. So that way we can kind of just dive right into my knitting plans. And so just to, I guess, preface, although these are, like my intentions, who knows what's going to happen at the course of this year. Yes, I hope that each one of these projects gets brought into life and made into reality, but things can change. So I'm really also looking forward to seeing at the end of the year if my plans will have come true. My dreams will have come true. No, I'm kidding. And also, just another note, I am somebody who really loves the Nutiden yarn, and so this episode may be a little bit Nutiden heavy. There is a good mixture, but just letting you know in case that's not your thing. I've been feeling so inspired by all of the colors that they put out. I've been wanting to kind of take a bit of a step back and a pause so that I can keep exploring new yarns, new dyers, all that stuff. But then every time there's a new release, the colors just like blow my mind, and so I can't seem to get away from it. And every time I see them, I'm also so inspired, like with different things that I want to make. So yeah, so just as a note for today, there's quite a few projects that will have some Nutiden yarn. Nutiden, in case you're not familiar, is an unspun yarn. It's from a dyer in Sweden. Every kind of batch that they put out is unique. They dye using natural dyes, I believe. And so yeah, every time there's a beautiful color, because I know that it's not going to come out again, I'm always a little bit tempted to buy, and that's fine. It's fine. It's part of the hobby. I love it. I really like the ethos of that company, and what they put out, and yeah, so I'm excited to share that with you. That being said, the names are all a little bit hard for me to pronounce, and so I will be just showing you the colors that I have. And then in the description below, I'll link what the actual names are. So if you want to reference or if you want to look out for them on somebody's de-stash, because I know that people do tend to de-stash some of their yarns once in a while. So if that's something that you're into, you'll be equipped with the name. And while we're on the topic of descriptions, I realized last week, or sorry, not last week, 2 weeks ago, the last video that I put out, I forgot to link all of my projects. So I'm so sorry about that. Now that this video is up, those will be linked as well. So if you did miss or try to go into the description to look at any of the pattern information or the yarn, and notice that it wasn't there and you want to do it, you can go ahead and check that out now. So, that being said, I guess we can just dive right into it. I thought I would kind of start with the ones that I'm feeling most inspired and grabbed by, and that I'm most excited to start. Some of these I've swatched already, so let's just get in. So the first one that I wanted, my first project of this year that I want to make is the Trescao pullover. This is a pattern from avec Anna. She has a bunch of really beautiful patterns out. This one happens to be free, which is really interesting and nice. And so I'll just show you. I've swatched for it already. Actually, let me start with the yarn. So the yarn that I'm going to be using for this is Sonder yarn Halo, and you're not going to, I don't know how to switch. So anyways, you'll just have to trust me. This is Sonder yarn, but this color, it's called Rocket. It's this beautiful, deep navy blue. And I'm pairing it with Purl SoHo. This is their Linnen Quill, and the color is dark denim. And I find that these colors just go so nicely together. This yarn was gifted to me from a dear friend of mine for my birthday, and I've been wanting to try the Halo from Sonder yarn for quite some time now, so I thought, why not give it a go? I've swatched, and I can tell you, I already know that I'm gonna love knitting this. I almost didn't want to stop. The feel is incredible. You know, like the Halo from Sonder is so soft, but there's something, like there's a really nice quality to the yarn because Linnen Quill has a linen component, obviously, to it. So yes, it's 50% fine Highland wool, 50% alpaca, and 15% linen. So it's just very light and airy, but still not see-through. I don't know, I just felt really good on my hands when I was knitting up the swatch. I hit gauge with the recommended needle size, which is 4 millimeters. And yeah, I can't wait. I think that it's going to be a really nice transition piece. Well, something that I'll probably be able to wear like most of the year except for summers. And I also think that it's something that it can be dressed up just as easily as it could be dressed down. Like I could wear it to the office if I want, or I could just be comfy at home, and either way it would work. And that's something that I want to be kind of mindful of as well moving forward with my knitting, is, you know, having these pieces that are super versatile, and I think that this one really hits the mark. So yeah, so that's the one I think that I'll be casting on next, that I find that I'm super excited about. The next one, and I'm a little bit behind the trend bandwagon on this one, but the next one is the porcelain sweater. I know that there have been, I think, thousands of projects already. I think it's been out for, actually, I don't know how long it's been out for, but I know that it's got a cult following almost. It's such a beautiful pattern, and at first I wasn't sure because I saw that there's a bit of color work in the flat, done flat, and I wasn't sure how that would work, and I was just like, oh, I don't know, maybe that one's not for me. But then I saw this color combination, and I don't know if it was for this sweater or for somebody else's sweater, but I saw a color combination and then I couldn't unsee it. Oh, okay. So this is Nutiden. This is the unspun yarn. It comes in cakes like this. I typically get 300 grams at a time. I know I can get, if I'm holding single strand, I can get a garment out of it. So I was just browsing the site because I do tend to just pop in to see, to look at the yarn every once in a while. And I saw these two colors and then I immediately saw the porcelain sweater. And I just couldn't, so I couldn't resist. So this wasn't even like on my radar, to be honest with you, until like 2 weeks ago. Or no, wait, when did I get this? I got this, okay, so maybe 3 weeks ago. But now I can't unsee it. So this is like a beautiful lime green. And then this is just a natural white. And I think that it's going to just be so nice. Like, I think it's like a spring version of, you know, the color, or spring interpretation of the color. And when I was thinking about how I'm going to knit this up, do I want to hold it single? Do I want to hold it double? I was thinking, because these are spring colors, that maybe I wanted to try to create like a bit of a lighter version that wasn't as warm, that I would get maybe more wear out of through like spring and summer, like summer evenings or something. And so I went on a bit of a journey. Oh no, I'm missing. Ah! Where is it? Okay, hang on. Okay, so I was able to find a perfect match with CaMa Rose. Oh, you get. So this is CaMa Rose and the base is Midnasstol. The color is called Lime. And so I was like, okay, that's perfect. And then I thought maybe for the body, it would be cool if I could pair it with, because single, it's not thick enough at a 4mm gauge. And I don't really want to play around with the gauge, but I thought maybe instead of holding it with like a mohair or a Surrey alpaca, like I traditionally do, maybe I could hold it with a different type of base, so like cotton or linen. And so I made a couple of purchases. I tried one cotton yarn. When I received it, because I bought it online, I noticed I tried to swatch, it was too thick. Same thing with another one. So in the end, because I swatched with Halo and I love the way that it feels, and this is not, it's like a pretty thin, it's a pretty thin mohair. When I compare it to some other ones, like it doesn't have as much fuzz. So I don't think it'll be excessively warm. Even if it is, it doesn't matter. I've decided I don't have that one yet. I'm gonna get it. They have a colorway called Hibou, which translates to owl. And so that's what my porcelain sweater is gonna be. And honestly, it's living rent-free in my mind right now. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't wait to have it. I did a little swatch, and that was to test out, like when I first got the other cotton yarn, this is the material, and it looks good, but it's so thick. So even though I was intending it to be thinner and cooler because it's paired with the cotton, it would actually be, like, in my opinion, way thicker. And then here where you can see a bit more of the holes, that's where I was holding it single. And because it's white, like if it was any other color, I don't think I'd be happy to have it with the airiness and the lightness, because Nutiden is super light, and that's one of the nice qualities about that yarn. But because it's white, I would be worried about what I could wear underneath. And so that's when I made the decision that I would go with pairing it with the Halo to fill in some of those gaps. But also I tested out the colors, and I just think that they go so nicely together, and I just can't wait for it to be knit up. And then also I tried knitting flat, colorwork flat, and you know what? Not that bad. Not that bad at all. It was actually really fun. You know, the way I do color work is with both hands. And I'm traditionally an English knitter, thrower, flicker, whatever. English style. So I think, and usually when I'm doing two colored work or two color, like, you know, patterns, it's not a problem with the knit. The purl, it was a bit of a challenge to learn how to purl continental. But that's okay. That's just a new skill. And, you know, it would be a good skill to have. And this project will allow me to practice that. So yeah, really exciting. I can't wait to get this started. I'll probably order that yarn relatively soon. And I have a feeling that as soon as I receive it, it's going to get cast on. So that's the story and the saga of my porcelain sweater. I don't know. I hope that's not boring to hear all about my minute, or all the thoughts going through my mind. Anyways, next story. So as I was browsing these two colors on the Nutiden website, I noticed this one. Oh, actually that's funny because it's kind of pulling out some of the colors of my sweater. That's hilarious. I didn't even notice. And I had seen this one before and I wasn't sure because again, when you're purchasing yarn online, I'm sure as you know, it's always a bit of a gamble. How is it going to turn out? Is it warmer? Is it cooler? I had seen this color before and had always been drawn to it, but also I was worried that it was going to be a little bit too, I don't know, maybe not have enough depth, or I don't know, just maybe I was worried that it was going to be more like this color actually, which is fine. This is a beautiful color, but this isn't what I wanted for I don't know. I don't even know. So anyways, so I took a gamble on it because I was making an order anyways. And I was like, why not? And then when these three came together, I just think these are I just can't get these three colors out of my mind. And so I was like, oh, you know, what would be really cool is if I did a Norma sweater, and had the stripes with the two greens and then had a white or gray background. So that's a potential. But I only have 300 grams of this one and I really want the porcelain sweater. So that's not the Norma sweater with this exact combo is not gonna be possible, but I'll have enough yarn left over from this one to be able to make a Norma. And so I'm thinking that I'd like to try maybe using a different type of base and combining maybe like a merino, a woolen spun merino, and seeing how that plays together in a single garment. So stay tuned for that. That's not an official plan for this year. It's just, again, something that's been living in my mind rent-free right now that I can't stop thinking about. But also I noticed that, the Norma sweater is from my favorite things knitwear. If I hadn't mentioned that, I don't think I did. But what I noticed also is that recently she did release a hat pattern. And so what I thought is that to satisfy that itch of using these two colors together before, before my other plans, because it's at the bottom of the pile right now, I can use another colorway that I have and use this as the base and do the stripes as I want in the future to do the Norma sweater, if this makes sense. And so, yeah, I can't stop thinking about this. I love these colors. This is one of my absolute favorite colors from Nutiden. It's brown, but it looks like a different color in every single light. Like here, it's looking a little bit more purple. Sometimes it looks deep brown. Sometimes it looks closer to black. It's just like the most magical color, not to sound funny or anything. But yeah, anyways, I have another project that I'll be talking about for this. But anyways, just to say, my third official project that I have intentions for is the Norma hat. Long story long, with these three colors. And this one also, I imagine I'll be casting on very soon because I just want it. And it's a hat and it'll knit up quickly. So it'll satisfy that dopamine hit. And also something that I really love is I love watching knitting vlogs. I've never done one before, but I'm thinking maybe I'll do a knitting vlog for that one, or try. No promises. Again, I have no idea if it'll turn out or not, but yeah, maybe that could be something fun, fun way to get my feet wet into the project vlogging world. Okay. All right, so next, moving away from Nutiden for a minute, next I have the Inse or Inse, and that's by Ailbíona McLochlainn. I discovered Ailbíona through Nutiden actually, because she does design a lot of garments using that base, but she has a ton of patterns, and she is a designer that right now I'm absolutely in love with. I love everything that she puts out, but I also I love her photography. I don't know if you haven't checked her out yet, I would highly recommend. I love looking at just all of the different patterns she has out because the photography is so fun, and a little bit quirky, but you can tell that she's really just like unapologetically herself, and I just love it. It's so fun. And I saw this pattern, and I just fell in love with it. So the pattern, it's a turtleneck, as you'll probably see up on the image, but there's multiple options. So there's the option for the turtleneck, there's like a higher, I think, faux turtleneck, and then there's like a normal collar. Then it goes into lace and then into the rest of the garment. And when I was looking through the project pictures, I noticed that I think there's only maybe one or two who've done the turtleneck. And I don't know why. The turtleneck is so it's what grabbed me in the first place. And so yeah, so the yarn that I'm going to be using for this, also it's a finger weight garment. So this one I'm so excited to be casting on, but I think it's going to be a project that's probably going to last throughout the year because it's in fingering weight. The yarn that I'm going to be using is this beauty. So this yarn is from the Beehive Woolshop out in Victoria, and it's their own hand dyed. It says limited edition. Perhaps they're not in the habit of dyeing often. The base is called Thetis, and it's in silk. Oh, yeah. So 75% extra fine merino and 25% mulberry silk. And I love this color. It's not one that I've gravitated, well, again, it kind of goes with my shirt, but it's not one that I usually gravitate towards, but it is in my color wheel. So I got my colors done last year. I know it was a whole craze, but I went and had a session and I learned a lot actually. Turns out I'm a soft autumn or warm autumn. I think those terms are interchangeable, which no surprise, but what that means is that black is not in my color wheel, nor is white, and nor is like big contrasting colors. So I can do contrast, or I can do like stripes, for example, that are closer in tone, like this. But if we go into something like this, which is really light and really dark, then it's not going to suit me as much. So that was a really interesting thing that I learned from that session. And after that session, and I meant to bring it because I wanted to show you guys, but I got a little, almost like a paint card with like all of the colors that are part of my wheel that suit me best. And of course, you know, this is just for fun. It's just to, like, nobody says that I can't wear black and white stripes if I want to, right? It's kind of like what accents your features most. And so I wanted to try to like learn that, and you know, the colors for soft autumn, they tend to be warmer toned, nothing super saturated or unsaturated, and then yeah, mixing kind of similar tones. So when I was looking at the card, the card that I received with all of the colors, this was one of them, which surprised me because I've never really worn this color, but I thought, why not try something? So anyways, that's a really long story. I've already swatched this one as well because I couldn't wait. And here is the swatch. It is hand dyed, so you can see there is some variegation, but that is okay. It'll give me the chance to try helical knitting, which I've never done before. So I've already checked out a few videos to see like what it means exactly. It's not what I thought it was actually. So I thought it was just a matter of changing your yarns at the same time every row. That's not the case. They're actually moving. Yeah, and so I'm really excited to trying that out. I also tried out the lace pattern, which is really sweet. From the needle sizes that are called for. So the ribbing and the lace is supposed to be in 2.5 millimeters, which is tiny, and the rest is supposed to be in 3 millimeters. With this fabric, and also with the needles that I was using, I decided to go up 0.25. So I'll be using 2.75 millimeter needles for the ribbing and the lace work, and then 3.25 for the rest of the body. So yeah, this is gonna be, like I said, a long-term project, but I do have quite a few, I have a few flights coming up this year. I'm actually gonna be moving from Montreal out to the West Coast. I'm gonna be living in Victoria, which I'm so excited for. Just, you know, want to do a little adventure. But what that means is that, you know, I've got a couple of flights back and forth already scheduled. I'll be here, you know, like I'll be moving there, and then I'll be back a couple of times for work and for family and all of that stuff. So I think like, because it's going to be very compact in terms of the project, it'll be good to bring on planes with me. And, you know, when you're just sitting there for 5 hours or 6 hours or whatever, or in the airports, like it's great to have a knitting project to keep busy and to pass the time. So I might also do a project vlog for that if the Norma hat one works out. Hopefully it does. But yeah, is there anything else that I wanted to say about? No, I think that one is it. Okay, what's next? So next, there's the Ferline. This is a brand new pattern that just came out from Joanna Ang. This one was not on my radar until I watched Knitting a Good Yarn podcast. It's a podcast, in case you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Two women from Ontario. They're Canadian, obviously. And I just love everything they do. Everything they put out, I'm so knitfluenced. And I think Carmen did, she test knit for it, and hers came out so beautiful. And so I've always wanted to try to do, not try to, but I've wanted to do a Guernsey pattern for quite some time now. I really still do want to make the Storm pattern by Petite Knit. But this one is going to go first. And the reason being is that when I was looking at the project pages, I noticed that that Joanne, am I saying that right? Yeah, Joanna, sorry. She had her original, but then she made another version using Nutiden. So obviously that caught my mind. And her version is just so beautiful and fluffy. And in her version, she's using a green Nutiden, and the strand that she's holding it with is a lace weight, but that's variegated or has different tones. So the outcome is like, it turned out really beautifully. It's just like all of the pattern plus the slight variegation and color shifts in the yarn. It just really caught my eye, and I was like, wait, you know what? I can do that, because I have this yarn, this Nutiden, which is, I'm not sure if you can kind of tell. Yeah, maybe there. So you can see there's purples and greens in here, and I'm going to be holding it with, again, CaMa Rose Midnasstol, because they match Nutiden perfectly every time. So these are going to be held together to make my version of the Ferline. And yeah, I'm so excited. This is one of the ones I have not, like I haven't specifically swatched for that yet. I will, but I did swatch the yarn together for a different project. Originally, I purchased that combo because I wanted to make a sweater number 28, I believe. I'll correct myself if that's not the case. And so I had swatched for that. So this is what they look like together in kind of that pattern. And I love that pattern and I still want to make it, just not in this combo. It's not, although this is still beautiful, it's not what I had in mind. But I do think that this combination will be very nice in the Ferline sweater. So yeah, so that's the next one. And it'll be really fun, I think, to have a sweater that is changing pattern, well, not pattern, but yeah, I guess stitch pattern every so once in a while, like from what I hear and from others who've knit Guernsey style sweaters. It's super engaging and fun and fast. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to have my own. Okay, next. Okay, stepping away again from Nutiden. The next one is the also cult favorite, if we want to say it, Alpine Bloom. That's by Caitlin Hunter. It is a t-shirt that has beautiful color work in it. And so the yarn that I'm going to be using is these, which are so beautiful. So this yarn I purchased this year at Knit City in Montreal. I had never seen this brand before. So this is Laine Maison. It's 75% alpaca and 25% nylon, but it has like this really beautiful halo and you can tell it's like very floppy. So I'm sure it's going to be warm, but I think it's also going to be really nice and drapey. And when I was at Knit City, first of all, I bought this color, which is not a color I've knit in before. So I'm really looking forward to having a garment in this blue. And then I purchased 3 skeins because I didn't, there was so much going on at Knit City. I don't know. It was the first time I ever went to a knitting knitting event. Let's call it event. And there were a ton of booths and everything was so beautiful and all of the colors. Like for me, I love color, like colors and textures and all of that stuff. And so being there, it was amazing. But then I was also like, I want everything. And then I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I didn't necessarily have a specific pattern in mind before going because the yarn tells, the yarn tells me what the pattern is going to be in my mind. That's how it works. The colors and the, like I'll see the yarn and that's where the inspiration comes from. So I didn't necessarily have a pattern in mind. And I think if I did, it was so busy that I probably would have just forgotten. So whatever, I bought 3 and I was like, oh, maybe I can do a summer garment or something like that. But then I sat on it for a little while and I was like, oh, I don't know exactly what this yarn wants to be. And it kind of made me sad because it's beautiful. And I thought I was going to cast on something right away, but then I couldn't, maybe I was being a little bit too precious with it and I couldn't find the right pattern. So I kind of just let it hang out. And then when I was in Victoria last year, visiting one of my best friends, I popped into a few of their, well, all 3 of their yarn shops. And in one of them, I forget which name it is. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. But in one of them, I found this skein that was on sale for I think it was $18 or something crazy. And this is really also outside of colors that I would normally gravitate to for knitting. But I just thought that would be cool. Because I think a lot of the Alpine Bloom designs are being done using Spin Cycle. And Spin Cycle is not, it's beautiful. And I do love every single colorway, and I wish very much that I could have some, but it's not super accessible. It is quite expensive. But I still, so I never thought that I would end up having plans to make a garment that was calling for Spin Cycle, but then I was super happy to find this. And actually I didn't say what name it is or who it is. It's Rio de la Plata knitting yarn. Pure new wool from Uruguay. Anyways, it's beautiful. And yeah, I purchased it in store. It was the only skein left. It was in like the sale bin. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to have my own. I think this also is going to be like a very versatile piece that will be able to wear for work. Like I can just imagine like a navy blue blazer over top, or a nice cardigan. I think it would be really nice, or just on its own really in the summertime, because it's kind of fancy, and especially with like the quality of this yarn and how drapey it is. And I think like the little halo, it might look fancy. So yeah, that's my next one, my Alpine Bloom. Okay, we are coming along here. I only have a couple of left. So the next one is a pair of socks. So I've never completed a pair of socks yet. And this is the year. I am determined. Not only because I would love to have socks, like my own knitted socks, and to be able to wear them on my feet, but because I'm going to be in BC and living by the ocean. I am going to really prioritize getting outside and walking, and I really want to knit and walk. That's one of my goals, to be able to do that. Also, just so that I can, continue making while I'm moving, but also it's so good for the brain, right? Like when you're multitasking like that, it's really great for your brain health. And yeah, I want to try it. So that being said, the sock that I am wanting to do first is the Midnight Dancer by Sari Nordlund. They are so freaking cute. They've got this little frill around the ankle, and I can just imagine wearing those with like some clogs or socks and sandals. I don't know. We'll see how West Coast I become. Or whatever, just to have around. And I've loved those socks since I very first saw them, and this year is the year I'm going to do it. So the yarn that I'm going to be using is this beautiful fancy skein. I thought this would look nice because this is a yarn that I received for my birthday from my aunt a couple of years ago. And again, I've just been really precious about it, not really knowing what to make with it. And I think like a beautiful pair of fancy socks is the perfect thing. So this yarn is Julie Asselin. It's the Lizu fingering simple. So it's 90% superwash merino and 10% silk. And again, this color is just so pretty. I think that it's gonna make a perfect little pair of dancer socks. So yeah, I can't wait to have those. And then other pairs of socks that I don't have yarn for, but that I really would like to try. I know that Summerly Knits has a ton of sock patterns. A lot of people do knit her designs, and I really like them. So she has this, like, I'm not sure if it's a series or if it's like a package of like sibling patterns that are called the Comfort Core. And I really like those ones. And I think if I am successful with the Midnight Dancer, I'm gonna purchase that pattern and make some of those. What I like about them is that they have like a bit of a different pattern around the arch of the foot so that it's more hugged. And I really like it when socks do that when they hug the arch of my foot, especially if you're like hiking and out walking and stuff like that. I find it just like it stays better in the shoe. It's also more comfortable. So yeah, so I want to try those if the first ones go well. Okay, so the next one, this is technically 9. So if we're talking make 9 format, this would be the end, although I do have a bonus one after. This is also one where I don't have the yarn, but that's okay. I'm gonna get it once I move, just so that I don't have to ship any more things across the country that I already am. But the pattern that I'm talking about is the Old Compass, and this is by Trim Annelie. The yarn that it was designed in is Host Garn Super Soft, and I've had my eye on that yarn for a really long time. I've never tried it though, and I'm really eager to try it because apparently it's really great for all types of color work. They have the amount of colors. If you ever want to check them out, if you're not familiar with them, the amount of colors is wild. They've got like 3 full pages. Like think about olive oil, knitting for olive, and then some. So they have so many great color ranges. And so yeah, I had seen this pattern when it was first released. I think it was on like the hot right now section of Ravelry. And so I saw it and I was like, oh wow, this is really nice. And then I was looking at the Host Garn, and then I started looking at the patterns, and one of the testers, I think, somebody made this version of the compass, the Old Compass, sorry. And it's these red and yellow colors. And I saw it and I was like, that is so beautiful. But also I saw it and I was like, that's the eye of Sauron. Sauron from Lord of the Rings. And I was like, I need it. I have to have that. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Me and my 2 best friends watch these movies every time that we're together. We even have matching Lord of the Ring tattoos, which is super dorky. But yeah, so I just thought like, oh my gosh, I need to have this sweater. It's so cool. The colors are beautiful, you know, like if you like it to me, it says Lord of the Rings, but it doesn't probably to most other people. And I thought that once I'm settled in BC, me and my best friends, when we get together, we usually do like the marathon of watching the videos throughout the time that we're together, like whether it be The Hobbit, the 3 Hobbit movies, and then the last time we were together, we did that, plus the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings. We were together for like 3 weeks. So every day we were watching little bits of it. And I just thought it would be so fun if I was knitting my like Lord of the Rings themed Old Compass sweater while watching Lord of the Rings. So maybe that'll be another vlog, who knows, but I just thought that would be like a really fun challenge. And there's also the Power of the Rings. Shoot, I can't remember the name of the series right now, but there's 2 seasons. So there's like a lot of viewing hours. So I'm curious to know if I go from absolute beginning to absolute end, include the extended versions, how far within this sweater, like can I knit a whole sweater? Can I not? How many hours is it? So anyways, lots on that. But yeah, it's just my nerdy, dorky idea that I'm really excited for, and I really hope that I can make happen this year, because yeah, I just think it's a really fun idea. And then like I can just imagine how many memories I'll have like woven into that as every time that I wear it, right? So yeah, so that's that one. And then so that was my first 9. Then again, because I've been so inspired and again, because I keep looking at Ravelry, even though I've got enough on my plate to last me a year, I came across the Bloom pullover, and this is by Joanna Maison. And when I was looking at it, I was like, I have the Nutiden yarn for that. I know exactly what this needs to be. So these two is what I will be using for my Bloom pullover. When I look at that, I think there's one other version that is knit up in Nutiden already, and it's beautiful. And I've seen a couple on the project pages already that are in these or similar colors. So yeah, I think I want that. And that's like my little bonus added sweater. The gauge is pretty big. I think it would be a pretty quick knit. So yeah. And I mean, I don't know what order all of these are going to come in anyway, so who knows, maybe one day I'll be looking at my yarn and decide that that's the day that it needs to be cast on. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of my plans for now. You'll notice, well, I'm sure you notice, there aren't much summer garments. That doesn't mean that I don't want to do some more summer garments beyond the Alpine Bloom. So yeah, there's gonna be lots more to come. I'm really looking forward to sharing more, and I'm curious, I want to know, like, what are you looking forward to this year in knitting? What's inspiring you right now? Do you have an idea, or do you know the next thing that's occupying all of your brain space, and what are you casting on next? I'd love to know. Do you have have you made any of the projects that I've made already, or are there some that you saw from what my plans are that you'd like to make? Yeah, I'd love to chat with you guys and keep the conversation going. If you made it this far, we're already quite a few minutes in, so thank you so much for sticking around. This was a lot of fun for me. And I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Have a great day.